The sky over Aroko village had forgotten how to cry. For 7 moons, not a single drop had fallen. The yam leaves curled like old paper. The riverbeds cracked open like broken pottery, and the goats bleated through the night from thirst. Even the elders who once laughed at drought now whispered that the gods had turned their backs. That morning, the sun rose angry, red, and merciless. The air shimmered with heat as Kemi, 12 years old, walked barefoot along the dusty path to the village square. Her dress was thin, patched, and dust-stained, but her eyes, large, curious, and too bright for her age, carried something the drought could not dry. She balanced a clay pot on her head, light because there was no water in it, and joined the line of women waiting at the empty well. The women were quiet, their faces tight with worry. From the shrine hill above, the village priest, Baba Iredi, watched them with his long white beard trembling in the wind. "The gods are angry," he declared the day before. "Someone has offended the Sky Father. Until he is appeased, the heavens will stay shut." That night, the elders offered sacrifices, a white cock, palm wine, and kola nut. The clouds did not come, only silence and the sighing of dry wind. Kemi stood by her mother, Mama Tunu, who held her hand gently. "Patience, my child," she murmured. "We must not lose faith." But Kemi's heart was heavy. She had dreamed again the night before, the same dream that came every few weeks. In it, she stood in the middle of a storm. The sky roared, lightning coiled like snakes, and she felt warm tears sliding down her cheeks, except when they hit the ground. They became raindrops. When she woke, her face was wet, and the earth beneath her mat was damp. No one believed her the first time she told the dream. Her mother had only smiled and said, "You dream of what you need, my child." But in her heart, Kemi felt the dream was real, that something inside her was connected to the sky itself. That evening, where Baba Iredi gathered the villagers again, his voice was grim. "The drought has grown worse," he said. "Tomorrow, we will offer the final sacrifice. If the Sky Father does not answer, we must prepare to leave Aroko." A murmur swept the crowd. Leave the village? Their ancestors had lived there for generations. Kemi looked up at the sky. It was the color of rust and ash. "Why won't you cry?" she whispered. That night, as the moon rose pale and thin, Kemi woke from sleep to the sound of thunder. Faint but clear. She stepped outside. The wind smelt like dust and hope, and when she raised her hand to the sky, a single tear rolled down her cheek. It fell, splashed on the ground, and the soil darkened where it landed. It was only one drop, but the earth had drunk it. Kemi gasped. Her heart pounded. Could it be? She looked up again, trembling, and somewhere above the dry clouds, a low rumble answered, like a heartbeat echoing in the sky. By dawn, the whole village was awake. Not because of thunder, there had been none, but because of rumor. Old Mama Dada, who lived near Kemi's hut, swore she saw a glow around the girl in the night. She said she heard the wind sing her name. By morning, half the village was whispering. The rain followed her. She is not ordinary. Maybe she's the answer, or maybe the curse. Mama Tinu hushed the talk. "My daughter is only a child," she said firmly, though her eyes betrayed fear. But even she could not ignore what she saw at dawn, a small circle of damp earth outside their hut, dark as if touched by rain, and yet the sky was still dry. Later that day, Baba Iredi arrived. His staff was carved from Aroko wood, wrapped with cowrie shells that clinked softly as he walked. He stood before Kemi and studied her with eyes sharp as knives. "You child," he said. "Step forward." Kemi's mother started to protest, but Baba Iredi raised his hand. "I dreamed last night," he said slowly. A voice called from the clouds, saying, "The one who carries the sky's sorrow is among us." "Tell me, child, what did you do when the wind spoke?" Kemi's throat felt dry. She could barely whisper. I cried." The old man's eyes widened. The crowd gasped. "Yes," Kemi said, trembling. Just one tear. It fell on the ground and it turned wet. Baba Iredi stared at her as if she had spoken thunder. He turned to the villagers. "The Sky Father has sent his daughter among us," he declared. "But beware, power comes with price." From that day, everything changed. The villagers began to treat Kemi with both reverence and fear. Children followed her when she walked. Women left small offerings, calabashes, flowers, even drops of their own tears outside her hut, but not everyone was pleased. Some men whispered that the drought was her doing, that her tears were hoarding the rain. "She must be tested," said Chief Adewal, the village head. "If she truly calls the sky, let her bring the storm before our eyes. If she cannot, she is a fraud." And so, a test was set. At sunset, the villagers gathered at the dry riverbank. Kemi stood barefoot on the cracked soil, her heart thundering louder than the drums. The sky was a hard, empty mirror above her. Baba Iredi placed his staff before her and said, "If you are the rainmaker's daughter, call to your father in the sky." Kemi swallowed hard. Around her, hundreds of eyes watched, some hopeful, some cruel. She closed her eyes. She thought of the river that once laughed through the valley, of the trees now dying in silence. She thought of her mother's cracked hands, her father's grave dry and unmarked. And then she thought of the sky weeping. A single tear slid down her cheek, then another, and as they struck the ground, the dust hissed and darkened. A hush fell. Then a whisper of wind. Then a rumble, deep and distant. The villagers gasped as a cold drop fell, then another and another, until the sky broke open like a drum. Rain poured down, wild, heavy, alive. Children screamed with joy. Women danced and lifted their skirts. Baba Iredi raised his hands to the heavens. "The Sky Father has returned." But Kemi did not move. Her tears mixed with rain as she looked up, smiling faintly until the thunder spoke again. "Kemi," it whispered in her mind. "My child, you have opened the gate, but the gate cannot stay open forever." Her heart clenched. She did not understand the warning. The rain fell harder, and deep within the clouds, something vast and watching stirred. The storm did not end that night. It raged for 3 days straight, the kind of rain that swallowed sound and blurred the line between earth and sky. Streams burst their banks. Huts leaked. Goats bleated in flooded pens. At first, the villagers rejoiced, dancing and singing under the torrent. But by the second night, the joy turned to fear. The fields had become lakes. The yam barns were soaked through. Chickens drowned where they roosted. The same mouths that once cried for rain now cursed it. Greater than. She has brought too much. The gods are angry again. The girl has opened a door she cannot close. Kemi watched from her window, her chest tight. Every time she tried to sleep, she heard the sky whispering, deep, heavy, endless. Sometimes it sounded like thunder. Other times, it sounded like words. "Kemi, the gate must close." She did not understand what that meant. She had wanted to save her people, not drown them. On the morning of the 4th day, Baba Iredi came to her hut, his robe clinging to his wet skin. His face looked older, carved with worry. "The balance is broken," he said. "You called the rain without the offering of return. The Sky Father's gift is not free." Kemi frowned. "I don't understand." The priest placed his staff on the floor, its cowries clicking softly. "The Sky Father gave you power because you carry his sorrow. But the earth must pay for what it takes. If the rains do not stop, the river spirits will awaken and they will claim their due." "Claim what?" she whispered. He looked at her long and hard. "You." That night, the rain softened to a whisper, as though it too was listening. Kemi sat beside her mother, who stirred a thin pot of porridge. The roof dripped steadily above them. "Mama," Kemi said, her voice trembling, "if the gods come for me, will you let them take me?" Mama Tinu froze, spoon midair. Her eyes glistened in the firelight. "Never. You are my child. I begged the earth for you, not the sky. The gods cannot take what they did not give." Kemi smiled faintly, though fear throbbed inside her. She wanted to believe her mother's words, but deep down she could feel the pull, a slow, invisible current tugging her toward the river. At midnight, she woke to find her window glowing faintly blue. She stepped outside. The rain had stopped. The sky was full of stars again, bright, watching. And there, standing by the flooded path, was a woman made of mist. Her eyes shimmered like pools of water. Her voice was soft but vast. "Kemi," the spirit said, "child of sky and clay. The storm must end. The balance must return." Kemi fell to her knees. "I didn't mean to bring too much. I only wanted to save my people." The spirit's gaze was kind, but unyielding. "The Sky Father's tears flow through you. To stop them, you must return what was taken." "What did I take?" The spirit reached out, her hand brushing Kemi's cheek. "Your heart, child. You gave it to the sky the moment you cried for rain. To close the gate, you must give it back to the earth." Kemi's heart pounded. "That means I will die?" The spirit smiled sadly. "No one truly dies who returns home." And then she was gone, fading into mist, leaving only silence and the faint scent of rain. By dawn, the villagers found Kemi standing at the riverbank, her dress fluttering in the morning breeze. Baba Iredi and Mama Tunu ran toward her, calling her name. She turned to them, calm and radiant, her eyes bright as lightning. "Don't be afraid," she said. "The sky is listening." She stepped into the water. It rippled under her feet, glowing faintly. "Kemi!" her mother screamed, splashing forward. But Baba Iredi held her back. "Let her go," he whispered. "The balance must return." The river swallowed her gently. The glow spread across the water like dawn itself. The rain stopped. The clouds broke open to reveal the sun, warm and golden. The drought was gone. The flood was gone. Only peace remained. And on the breeze a whisper lingered, soft, distant, full of love. "Mama, don't cry. I am in every drop that falls, and every sun that rises." For 7 days, Oroku village stood in silence. The rain had stopped, yet no one celebrated. Fields glistened, rivers brimmed, and the scent of wet earth filled the air, but the laughter that once echoed after storms was gone. They had gained water, but lost their child of the sky. Mama Tinu sat by the riverbank from dawn till dusk. She spoke softly to the waves, as if the current might carry her words to Kemi. "My daughter," she would murmur, "I left yam by the hearth in case you return hungry. I kept your mat by the fire in case you come cold." Each morning she swore she heard a voice in the ripples, answering her prayers with faint musical hums. Baba Iredi came often, laying white petals upon the water. "She is one with the sky and the river now," he told the villagers. "Do not mourn her as dead. The gods take only what they need, and they have left us rain." But the people were uneasy. The old chief dreamed of a child made of mist walking through the marketplace. Fishermen swore their nets glowed under the moon. One night, a herder saw a figure rise from the water, shimmering blue. And when he blinked, she was gone. Soon, the tale spread. Kemi the rainmaker was alive beneath the river. On the 7th night, Mama Tinu brought a calabash of palm oil and cowries to the bank. "If you hear me, my child, send me a sign," she whispered. The moon floated above her like a silver bowl. The river was still, then a single drop of water leapt up and landed on her hand, warm like a tear. Mama Tinu gasped. She looked into the river, and for a heartbeat she saw her daughter's face, smiling beneath the current. The next morning, dew covered the village like pearls. Goats bleated, babies laughed again, and people began to plant. Kemi had kept her promise. The rain had returned. Not as flood or drought, but balance. Still, Mama Tinu returned to the river each dusk. She sang softly, the same lullaby she once hummed when Kemi was small. "Sleep, my rain. Sleep, my sky. Drift where the clouds cannot cry." And when she sang, the river's surface shimmered with faint blue light, as though the water itself remembered every word. Seasons passed. The yams grew fat again, the wells full. Children born after the great storm were told, "Never mock the sky. Its heart once lived among us." Kemi's story became legend. The elders said the rain that touched Oroko village first each season belonged to her. The villagers called it Chimi's blessing before planting. They stood barefoot in that first drizzle, eyes closed, whispering her name. Yet, far beneath the river's surface, Kemi was not gone. She drifted through a world of light and shadow, where fish sang and spirits glowed like stars. The Sky Father's voice reached her like thunder wrapped in song. "You chose love over power, child. Because of that, both earth and sky shall remember you." Kemi bowed her head. "I only wished to bring balance." "And you did. But balance must live on." The river shimmered, parting to reveal visions of Oroko, her mother aging gracefully, children splashing where the drought once cracked the earth, laughter returning to the square. A peace deeper than any dream filled her. She spread her hands, and the current carried her upward toward the surface, toward sunlight. That evening, Mama Tinu sat by the river again. The sunset painted the water gold. Suddenly, the air turned cool. A soft mist rose, curling around her like a hug. From within it came a voice she would never forget. "Mama," her breath caught. "Kemi?" The mist brightened, shaping into her daughter's figure, half water, half light. "I cannot stay," Kemi said gently, "but I came to thank you. Every song you sing reaches me. Every tear you drop becomes rain." Mama Tinu's eyes shone. "Are you happy, my child?" "Yes, Mama, I am both the drop and the cloud. When you feel the rain on your skin, that is me saying I love you." The mist touched her cheek, warm, soft hand, then faded into the night air. Mama Tinu smiled through her tears. She rose slowly, her heart lighter than it had been in years. She faced the sky and whispered, "Sleep well, my rain." That night, a gentle shower fell over Oroko village. The people woke to its music and lifted their faces to the sky, feeling peace instead of fear. High above, the moon glowed bright, and somewhere, between the clouds and the earth, a voice hummed softly. "When the sky weeps, remember me." And so they did every season, every storm, because in Oroko village, rain was no longer just water. It was the heartbeat of a girl who once cried for the world.